So, welcome to the ethics class chapter 1. Okay, we had 7 chapters to cover. We have 7 chapters to cover in ethics, and the first chapter reads ethics and human interface. See, one of the longest chapters of ethics, primarily because we will not understand anything about ethics till such time we do not understand the word ethics per se, right? Certain other words related to ethics like morality, value. Value is a broader, very broad thing that we will cover today. What are norms, what are conduct, what is behavior, what is nature, what is character. All these dimensions we will try to cover. Okay, as far as possible today in 2.5 hours I will try to cover value dimension at least. Why? Because it is a little deeper concept where how we will be learning how society is influencing the value, how family is influencing the value, how educational institutions are influencing the value, how our neighborhood is influencing the value, and so many other concepts. Okay, well, let's start. Today thoda aaj marathon session hoga. If I am fast anywhere you feel sir is going fast, you have every right to stop. I have every right not to stop. Okay, you are driven by morality, I am driven by ethics. Okay, we will try to understand what is the difference. Okay, chal, good. We have covered some basic concepts related to ethics, right? Whatever we have covered, anybody having any doubt, you ask. Whatever I have not covered specifically, there is a reason why I have not covered that as part of the basic concepts. Okay, anything whatever I have covered till now, anybody having any questions you may ask, otherwise we will go ahead with this particular chapter. Okay, anyone? Acha, you have heard about this word synonyms, synonym, words with same meaning. Okay, can you give me an example of any word synonym? The meaning of the synonym is also exactly the same. The message or the context should not change in the intensity or the message. Give me 2 words whose meaning is exactly the same. Think. Dig your dictionary. Dig out your dictionary. Any 2 words which you feel the meaning will exactly be the same. Praying and worshipping. How many of you agree that these 2 words have the same meaning? Nobody agrees. Praying and worshipping. What is the difference between the 2 words, praying and worshipping? Worshipping is more related to process. Praying is more related to, or vice versa. I worship Lord Ganesha. I pray to Lord Ganesha. Is there a difference? A lot of difference. Got it? Any other try? He says praying and worshipping. Complete and finish. Can there be anything even after completion? Can there be anything even after completion? A completion could be beginning for something else, but finish is a complete finish. Come on. Linguistic intelligence. We are trying to test your linguistic intelligence. What is linguistic? I think मैंने लिखा भी है. Last one of my student in Delhi, she asked me very innocently, sir, what is linguistic? So I had to tell her that it is a scientific study of language. ठीक है? कहाँ गया? Yeah. Anybody? Any try?
If a fruit has 2 names.
Come again?
If a fruit has 2 names.
No, not about an object. Any other? Try. Come again? Ambition and goal. What is the difference? What is the difference? My ambition is to become an IAS officer. My goal is to be happy in life. Ambition is more materialistic. Goal is more than being materialistic. Difference in the intensity? Any other try? Good. हाँ बेटा क्या बोला? No. world, when we say, we are primarily dealing with human context. When you say globe, you bring the nature, the water, the air, everything below the earth, everything. When we say world affairs, are we interested in what is happening deep inside the earth? No. It has different connotation. Globe is much more wider context. Huh.
Correct and right.
Huh?
Correct and right.
Being correct and being right. Objective and subjective. What is right for you may not be right for me. Being vegetarianism may be right for you, but not for me. So right becomes subjective and correct may be objective. Even that also may be objective. Yeah. Why are we struggling? Why are we struggling? Is it the thin base of vocabulary we are struggling? No, because what this fellow says is, who is this fellow? William Van Orman Quine. What this fellow told is, there cannot be complete synonyms. It means there can never be two words which will have same meaning, same intent, same message or same connect. You cannot find two words in this world whose meaning is exactly the same. If I use a word woman, lady, female, the context is same, but the message is completely different. When I say women, I am when W-A-N, when I am saying W-O-M-A-N, woman, that is when I am meaning a lady who is of a respectable age, maybe 40, 30, 50 plus. I call them, address them as women. When I have to address somebody who is younger, I will say lady. This is what I generally use. And when I have to harp upon the feminine quality of somebody, I will say she is a female. Next aspirant for interview is a female candidate. This is where this sexual dimension is coming into play. So this is where the incomplete synonyms are coming into play. So in linguistics, there is a strong notion that two words cannot be same. But we do use the word ethics and morality interchangeably. How far is it right? You are using ethics also and morality also interchangeably. Then how far I am right in my practice of using ethics and morality interchangeably? Are they complete synonyms? May not be. No, obviously no. Are they incomplete synonyms? Yes, the answer is yes. But now, what is the difference between the two that we need to understand? So when we try to define the difference between ethics and morality, firstly we should know what is ethics and we should know what is morality. Then only we will try to understand why they are incomplete synonyms and not complete synonyms. With me? With me? See, first chapter, first day I will go deliberately. Why? Because ये अगर बैठा नहीं दिमाग में तो आगे पूरा 5th floor से जाएगा. We are sitting on 4th floor, so it might go from 5th floor. ठीक है? Now, can I say in linguistics, the language or the scientific study of language, it is accepted philosophy that or fact that there cannot be complete synonyms. It means there cannot be two words that connote exactly the same meaning with same intent and the same message. It means that all the words, though they may be synonyms, but they have incomplete synonymity. They are not completely synonymous to each other. With me? So we tried for maybe 4 or 5 minutes to try two words which have complete synonyms, but we could not find. So now in this context, we will try to understand how ethics and morality are different to each other, though we use these words loosely interchangeably. Anybody? How ethics and morality are different? How they are different? In what context they are different? Anyone? When do you use the word he is an unethical person? When do you use the word he is an immoral person? We will understand today what is morality, what is immorality, what is non-morality also. There is something known as non-morality also. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Ethics is more social oriented, morality is more individual oriented.
He says that ethics is more social oriented, morality is more individual oriented. You mean to say that morality is not social oriented?
Mostly it is innate in nature.
Innate in nature. He says morality is innate in nature, ethics is social in nature. Anybody else?
Situation based.
I have done something wrong in the office. Am I unethical or immoral? Why? Why you said unethical? Why you did not say immoral? See, ethics come into play when there is a broad framework of rules and regulations. When there is a broad framework of rules and regulation. Whenever it is about our behavior or our conduct, those are two different words. Don't try to understand the meaning today, tomorrow I will explain, but be with me. Whenever I am judging a behavior or a conduct of an individual in a setup where certain rules and regulations are there, if that person performs the right work, I will say he is ethical. If he does something wrong, I will say unethical. That is why it is called code of ethics. It is called code of ethics, right? It is not code of morality. In organization, when you all become civil servants, you will be imparted training on code of ethics. As a civil servant, there are certain ethical values that you need to imbibe in your journey as a bureaucrat, right? Now, can I make a loose statement at this stage? Ethics is more concerned in a social construct where rules and regulations are predefined. Can I use this statement? And morality, when it comes to morality, as he said, can I say morality is more related to where interpersonal relationship in an informal construct are related, like at home with your parents, with your friends, with your siblings. If you do something right, it is moral. If you do something wrong, it is immoral. If you try to establish an illicit relationship between a person with whom the society does not allow you within the construct of the family, like sister, like mother, then it is said that you are an immoral person. So, can I make a loose statement that ethics is basically in a social construct where rules and regulations are framed? In home, did somebody wrote anything? Did somebody write anything? When you were born, did somebody take your thumb impression that you have signed this at the time of birth? Now you have to follow these rules and regulations? No, right? But it is conferred that in a society, in a familial structure, in a structure where friends are involved, where your siblings are involved, you are expected to behave in a particular way. So that is where morality is coming into play, and this is where ethics is coming into play. In a classroom setup, suddenly Sai Seshu decides that he is feeling an urge to smoke. He takes out his cigarette and lights it with a lighter. Has he committed an unethical act or an immoral act? He has committed an unethical act. Why are you not saying immoral? Because in a classroom setting, there is a predetermined rule or regulation that you can only behave in a particular way. So, the behavior of Sai will become unethical and not immoral. With me? Are with me or not? Okay. Please make a note from the context point of view. It says that ethics is derived from a Greek word called ethika, which means customs and traditions. Ethics also has its base from a word called ethos. It is also used to denote internal characteristics of a culture. So that is how culture and tradition. Ethics is going more closer to culture and tradition. We spoke about the difference between the two, no? Culture and tradition. Culture is a broader perspective, tradition is a specific trait in a culture, right? So in Arab countries, for example, listen, सुनो, culture और tradition के बीच में difference. In Arab countries, non-vegetarianism is a culture? Yes or no? In non-vegetarianism is a culture. But in some of the Arab countries, eating in a big plate where the entire family sits next to each other in a common plate, that is a tradition, which is not found in the entire Arab countries, only in some specific countries. So, while non-vegetarian is a culture, eating in a common plate, a big plate where the entire family is sitting together and eating is a tradition. Getting it? Please make a note somewhere. The difference between culture and tradition. Where non-vegetarianism is a culture, but however the way they are eating, the food habit, how they eat, what they do at the time of eating is a tradition. Very important. Now what it says, ethics derived from a Greek word called ethika, which denotes customs and tradition. At the same time, another word called ethos, which is also used to denote internal characteristics of a culture, basically the tradition, the internal characteristics of a culture. So when it comes to morality, what it is saying, the Latin word is more, it is called not more, it is more, which again means customs and traditions, which again means customs and traditions. But on the basis of etymological meaning, they are almost similar, and that there is no concrete difference. So from this etymological meaning, we see that they are mostly or almost similar. They are not perfect synonyms, or they are not complete synonyms. They are almost similar, and that there is no concrete difference. So till now what we have understood, there are two synonyms, complete synonyms, incomplete synonyms. Complete synonyms, the meaning has to be exactly the similar. Incomplete, it cannot be exactly similar, but it would be almost similar. So can I say ethics and morality are incomplete synonyms? Yes or not? Linguistically incomplete synonyms, etymologically almost similar, and with there is no concrete difference between the two. If a question comes, define ethics and morality, please write, define ethics and morality, define ethics and morality, full stop, discuss how both the terms, discuss how both the terms, though sound similar, both the terms though sound similar, but are linguistically and etymologically different, but are linguistically and etymologically different. एथिक्स में सवाल इसी लेवल पे आता है, कोर लेवल पे ही सवाल आता है, ठीक है. They will not ask high-fi questions. You take out the last 9 years papers, you will see the questions have come at the base level. Try to understand. Okay? Now, shall I go ahead? Can I make this difference? Please make a note. Ethics and morality. Can I say its usage is more in the formal world? Its usage is more in the formal world, and its usage is more in the informal world. When I am saying informal world, it could be within my family, it could be between my siblings, it could be with my friends also. Okay? But when it comes here, it could be your office, it could be very important, your organization where you are serving. Can I use the quality of anonymity at home? जूता पड़ेगा. If a father asks you what you are doing, none of your business. I am a future IAS officer. I am supposed to maintain anonymity. He will also beat you anonymously without your mother coming to know. Take care. So never try to do this stunt at home. Right? Now, can anybody give example? External factors are more important in the world of morality. Not morality, ethics here. External factors are more important in the world of ethics, not morality? Please cut that. Can anybody give an example? Be specific. External factors are more important in the world of ethics. External factors are more important in the world of ethics. Good example. Example. Simple. From day to day life.
child marriage.
ना बड़ा example मत लो. External factors are more important in the world of ethics. What are these external factors? Can I say? Huh? Come again. Dressing style. Okay, okay. He's there. He says that the dressing sense or dressing style, whatever. Dressing sense or the dressing style. Whenever you try to be, generally this rule comes more for the women. There are a lot of restrictions on the women wearing particular type of clothing, especially in the lower and the middle class families, where lot of strict regulations are there, what kind of cloth a woman is supposed to wear, what a girl is supposed to wear, or what type of cloth or what time of the day woman is supposed to go out of the house and not to go out of the house. So these are basically the external factors. Why? Because why it is external factor, try to understand. Though the limitation is imposed by the family, but the family is under pressure of the society. Try to understand this. Though the final executing authority may be your mother or father or an elder brother or a younger brother also for that matter, but it is not the brother, father or the mother, it is the society that is creating pressure on them. So that is how it is external factor. See, the same family who has, you've seen this movie Fida? You've seen this movie Fida, no? So he wears her elder sister, the heroine's elder sister, when she is India, she is wearing all Indian dresses. The moment she goes to America, what she starts wearing? A little different type of clothing. And this girl also landing in America. You remember? Hello? With me or not? मूवी का नाम लूँगा तो सब कनेक्ट हो जाएंगे. ऐसे बल्ब ऐसे चमक रहे सबके चेहरे, ठीक है? Everybody is remembering पल्लवी क्या नाम है उसका? साई पल्लवी, ठीक है? So now understand, the moment you went into a new atmosphere, because the external factor control which was very active in that village setup. What is the name of the village? बांसवाड़ा. क्या रे तुम लोग साला, मूवी का भी नाम याद नहीं है, ठीक है? So when in that village of Banswada, if the entire external factors regulation control was very strict, but the moment she landed in America, she was wearing a jeans and a t-shirt. In the entire movie, in the first half, did she wear a jeans or t-shirt? No. So that is how you try to understand how external factors are also influencing ethics. Now, internal foundations. Can anybody give an example? Internal foundations. Can anybody give an example? Internal, your own foundations. You are bounded by your own moral principles. I gave you example, no? The example of sister, the example of mother, the example of maybe first cousin. Because they are taboos that you cannot think about them in a particular way. In a particular way, you cannot allow your id to overpower your ego or your super ego. So this is where you are bounded not by external factors but by your own internal factors. It is called internal foundations. Very, very important. Okay? Internal foundations. Yeah. Uniformity and objectivity. It means that all the rules in the society are equal for everybody. Everybody. It is called universality of law. The law or the social norms are universally applicable to everybody. So this is one of the basic difference, ethics and morality. And this is what? Subjective. Can anybody give an example of subjective morality? Subjective morality. Vegetarianism, non-vegetarianism, very classic example of subjective morality. Anything else? Marriage of, yeah, subject of morality. In Islam, you can marry your first cousin, right? But in other religions, generally it is prohibited. Here the morality has suddenly become subjective and not objective. So these are the three core dimensions where you can bring out the difference between ethics and morality. Are you with me or not? With me? Chalo, good. Pawan. Yeah, very important. We spoke about this ethical dilemma. You remember the first slide? One person standing, one road going to the left, one road going to the right. Two dilemmas we discussed, cognitive dilemma and ethical dilemma. Cognitive dilemma is a dilemma which comes to your mind in the absence of information, in the absence of knowledge. It is called cognitive dilemma. Ethical dilemma is the dilemma which has come because of certain infight between the principles that you hold as core part of your core personality. It is called ethical dilemma. It is called ethical dilemma, not it is called ethical dilemma. Now try to understand what it says, ethical versus ethical. वो example छोड़ दो. Can anybody give me any other example? Ethical versus ethical dilemma. Come on. Ethical versus ethical dilemma. I gave you one example of one counselor in a hospital. One poor family comes for treatment. In that hospital 8-10 lakh rupees kharcha, nearby clinic 40-50 हजार रुपए में हो जाएगा. So it is an ethical versus ethical fight. One more important, as the example that I have given here, the doctors are duty bound to serve their patients, to save their patients, saving a patient. But at the same time, whenever you are taken for a surgery, any surgery for that matter, they will make you sign something, no? That you take all the responsibility. I am like, you are operating and why should I take all the responsibility? So that is where there is an ethical dilemma. There is an ethical dilemma. You standing outside, you do not know ABC of any operation procedure, but you give it in writing before only that I will not sue the hospital if something goes wrong. If you read it carefully, वहाँ पे negligence is also a point. If you read it carefully, some negligent act of one of their employees can also not be construed or something like that, they will write. But we are in that stress. They will ask anything you to sign, you will sign anything. So that is how they take the advantages. So there is an ethical versus ethical dilemma in these situations, right? Ethical versus ethical dilemma. I gave you an example, choosing between mother and your girlfriend. You remember that example? Choosing between your mother and girlfriend. It comes under moral dilemma, moral versus moral dilemma, because your relationship with your mother is also on informal lines, morality is coming into play, and your relationship with your girlfriend is also on that particular lines only. See, father versus mother, generally when the children are small kids, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, generally parents have this habit, no, beta, whom do you love more, father or mother? The child is in moral dilemma. These two idiots do not know whom I love. So that is how the child is under moral dilemma, whose name to take. If the child is less than 5 years, generally it has been observed that instantly the child will take the name of the mother, because the dependency of the child on the mother till the age of 5 years is much more. So the child is selfish in taking the side of mother. So that is how it happens. By the time the child grows, depending on how the father in the family is, you will generally see that the attachment of the child with the father grows. Why? Because father becomes more lenient, mother becomes more stringent. So there also the selfish dimension will. Thomas Hobbes, always remember this name, Thomas Hobbes told man is born selfish and he will die selfish. You cannot stop man from acting. Man means woman also included. Hello. Man means woman also included. Don't be happy that you are not selfish. Okay? Man and woman both are born selfish and they will die selfish. Okay? And ethical versus moral dilemma. This is where lot of questions can be asked in UPSC. Very important. There is a patient who has come to the hospital with 90% burns. There is a patient, just try to be in that situation. A patient who has been brought to the hospital with 90% burns. Now the doctor knows that this fellow cannot survive. Even if he survives, his life will be more miserable than death. His life will be more miserable than death. In this scenario, the doctor thinks, shall I strive to save him or shall I let him pass by? So there is a ethical, because ethical, the doctor have to save the patient come what may. Even if there is 1% chance, the doctor has to save the patient. But what is morality saying? What is morality saying? Morality is talking about leaving him to pass by. Leaving him to pass by. Please try to make the note of these examples. Examination hall में यही याद आएंगे और कुछ भी याद नहीं आएगा, ठीक है? Lawyer defending a terrorist. कसाब का भी तो कोई lawyer होगा. Ethically his profession is telling, no matter what, even if your client had admitted in front of you that he has committed the crime of murder or rape, you are duty bound to find the loopholes in the law and protect him. But what morality says, the own lawyer going to the court and saying, Salago, abhi phansi do. So what will happen? He will be violating his own code of ethics, and that lawyer will get a tight slap from the judge, because he is not supposed to do like that. Okay? Then the police office arresting an established criminal. Whenever the police people arrest somebody, try to understand the dilemma of the police people. When they arrest somebody, clean and neat committed police officer, he knows that if I follow the procedure of law, this fellow will get escaped, because he is a established criminal with very strong political connections. The moment I will put him in jail, there is a high probability, there is a 100% probability that he will get a bail in couple of hours. What if I? So there the ethical and moral dilemma are coming into play. So like this, now tell me, which is bigger, ethics or morality? Bigger in the sense, what you would go for, ethics or morality? Huh? In the position of power, you cannot side with morality, understand. You are bounded by ethics. In personal capacity, you should always be driven by morality. If a situation is given to you in interview, if that situation is related to some rules and regulations where you work, where your organization and all, you should always go with ethic dimension. When it is your personal life, your partner, your parents, your siblings, or the friends whom they trust you like anything, you have to go with morality. You cannot be doing anything wrong with them. So depending on the situation, what is the situation, he is trying to test your ethical ground or the moral ground. You remember that question of being judicious and kind? That collector, in that collector's office, one lady got arrested for corruption charges, despite the fact that she was a widow, despite the fact that she has two grown-up children to take care of, despite the fact that she had elder in-laws and parents to be taken care of, the collector decided to punish her, because the collector was driven by ethical and not moral. Ethical and not moral. So whenever you are in any position of authority, you have to take any decision, your decisions have to be based on the code of ethics. Your decisions have to be based on code of ethics. There you cannot play the moral card. There you cannot play the moral card. In all these three examples, imagine what if they took the moral card. Things will be disastrous. Things will be disastrous. Try to understand. Okay? So we have understood what is the basic etymological, linguistic meaning of ethics and morality, and what is the basic difference between the two, when we should tilt towards ethics, when we should tilt towards morality. Are you with me so far? Huh?
If you don't mind, can you give an example for each and other examples?
Like?
For ethical, you said save patient and everything.
कहाँ पे? हाँ.
Can you give other examples for each and everything?
एथिकल का हमने दिया था ना, एथिकल वर्सेस एथिकल, एक और एग्जांपल दिया था. आई गेव यू एग्जांपल, नो सम एग्जांपल. हॉस्पिटल का एग्जांपल आई गेव, नो, वेयर यू आर ए काउंसलर, you are counseling a new patient who has come, you know that they are from a poor family, but the cost of surgery in your hospital is 10 lakh rupees. but the same procedure in the nearby clinic, you know, 40,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees. So now there is an ethical versus ethical dilemma. As a counselor, your code of ethics say कि उसको admission अपने hospital में ही करवाना है, come what may they should get admitted in your hospital. So but what will happen now? This is an ethical versus ethical dilemma. Anybody, any other example? Ethical versus ethical dilemma. Any beautiful example will come.
During a flood situation, if there is a man or woman, and if there is a cat and something else, if you want to save both of them, you will get some dilemma. Which one you have to save first?
Say for example, can I improve upon your example? Say for example, there is a person who is part of the disaster management controlment team. He's got only one rope to save either an animal or a human. Now it is ethical, these people are unknown to him, so they do not come under his boundary of morality, but they do come under his boundary of ethicality, because his ethics is telling him to save as many lives as possible. But in that ethical dilemma situation where there is a dilemma between ethics and ethics, he has decided, he has given more weightage to human life than animal life. So this is also an example. Anybody else? One more example. Within the educational institution, try to think. Educational institution, broader framework, think. Come on.
Collecting huge fee from the person or poor person, or giving, let's say, concession to him.
No, don't talk from the money perspective. One example is over. Any other perspective from education? Reservation. Okay. Can you elaborate on the example?
Without person we get 85 marks and OC can get 100 above.
Okay.
There is a difference.
So he says that one example can be given where a student has studied hard from general category, he's got 85% of the marks, but he could not get the job that he was working for, but somebody with a reservation with only 60% of marks he got his job. But as regards the dilemma is concerned, it is ethical versus ethical dilemma, and as regards the code of ethics goes, because his person has got a reservation, the government is duty bound to provide job to this particular fellow. Good. So it is ethical versus ethical dilemma. Here morality is not coming into play. Morality is not coming into play. So Priya, your understanding?
So don't that be controversial?
Come again? Not necessarily. It is your opinion. Ethics is all about opinion. See, that's what. Always remember, ethics is subjective. The entire dimension of ethics is subjective. See, if you do not take chances in some example, I told you, ethics is an interview in writing. He is trying to know what kind of a person you are. You said that I understand that this fellow made lot of work, hard work for getting 85%. But despite the fact I believe that he has done hard work more than what this guy has done, but I am taking into considerations the background from where this fellow is coming. Maybe he's got the person from the general category, got education in convent throughout his life, probably English medium throughout his life, the best of facilities throughout his life, the best of atmosphere at home throughout his life. So, but when I am judging this person with reservation, 60% for him, for getting that 60% would have been much more harder than the person who got 85%. So, these things have to be weighed upon. These things have to be weighed upon. Okay? Nothing controversial. Don't worry. The reservation word is such is controversial. Chalo. The two basic what you call dimensions of ethics that we shall be learning is, one from the philosophical point of view, the second is from the sociological or the psychological point of view. If you remember, I told you ethics is derived from these 3-4: public administration. When we come to foundational values of civil servants and all, I will talk about public administration then. Now we will try to restrict our lecture today for philosophical and sociological or psychological dimensions of ethics. Okay? See, what is philosophy? Anybody? Philosophy क्या है? What is philosophy? Anyone? उसमें आंसर नहीं है. I don't think it is there. Huh. Philosophy is, he says it is point of view. Huh. No, it is not. Any philosophy, psychology student here? Kaumudi? Nahi? Nahi? Huh. His rules. Own making rules. It is called philosophy. No. How da? She says that philosophy of an individual is a set of rules, individual or a society is set of rules that decides what is right and what is wrong. How many of you agree? Huh. See, understand, there are two dimensions of any topic or any subject. One is abstract, the other is concrete. Try to understand this at this stage only. See, whenever we talk about any issue, one is abstract, the second is concrete. Understand, a person with higher intellect can understand abstract things. That is the reason why he or she is good in mathematics. I told you maths is nothing but, the intelligence is nothing but logical, mathematical and abstraction thinking. And I told you 50% of the population generally is with average IQ and 25% of the population is below average IQ. It means 75% of the population is average and below average IQ. It means their ability to understand abstracts is not as good as the remaining 25%. It means they need everything in concrete. This is where the norms will come into play. This is where norms, हम बात करते हैं ना, values, norms will come into play. The reason why something becomes norm, exactly this reason, that the 75% of the population will not understand what a value is, because value is supposed to be abstract in nature. So for them to understand and abide by value, norms have to be brought into place where a value moves from being abstract to concrete. For example, respecting elders is a value. Value is what? The highest ideals that a society tries to uphold is value, right? I told you respecting elders is a value. It is an abstract value. Now, if I do not teach this 75% category of the people how to respect the elders, you have to bend down and touch their feet. उसके दिमाग में जाएगा ही. Till such time you do not explain him how to value the respecting the elders as a value has to be imbibed, he will never understand without making him touch the feet of elders. You tell me any other dimension of respecting elders as a child that you were taught? No. Because it was forced, because the moment you bend, you submit yourself to that particular individual. When you touch the feet, that is how it is so deeply ingrained into your culture that you have to bow down in front of your elders and touch their feet. This is how the norm is touching the feet. But what is the value? Value is respecting the elders. So in philosophy, mostly everything is abstract. Everything is abstract. That is the reason why ethics is all about being abstract. And that is the reason why students struggle with ethics, because 75% of all of us, maybe I am here in this bracket. If there was a below bracket, maybe I would have been there, because my intellect also in certain dimension is very, very poor. Try to understand, that is the reason why when we talk about philosophy, we are talking about things which are very abstract. Try to understand. I am talking about, does God exist? Do I have an idea? It is abstract, because I do not, even the science till date has not been able to tell whether God exists or not. The science is still debating that this universe is creation of a God or something else. Somebody says no, so and so came down and created this universe, then we immediately ask, what was the date? Yes or no? What was the date? Because you want concrete, you cannot abstract, you cannot imagine abstractly. Say for example, if I say the soul travels after the death, then person like me will ask, what is the speed? What is the direction? Where will it go? All these questions will come because they are abstract in nature. Theology is talking about this. Try to understand. Is there life after death? Where do we go after we die? Is there some other planet that we are taken to? Who comes to take us? All these dimensions are all part of philosophy. In that philosophy, we talk these dimensions in a subject called metaphysics. And in this epistemology, basically our knowledge is concerned with, our intention is concerned with the knowledge in philosophy. That is where I am saying it is that branch of philosophy that tries to study the knowledge. Philosophy has three branches: the epistemology, metaphysics, and last branch is ethics. Very important. The last branch is ethics. That is part of, I told you day one, the problem with the ethics subject in UPSC is the syllabus is not scientifically designed. Nobody applied their head at the time of what you call designing the syllabus of ethics. So the entire blame from my side goes to UPSC. Why? Because they have haphazardly picked up certain concepts from here and there and syllabus bana ke tumko de diya. So if we do not follow a proper sequence of classes, you will not understand the subject. Okay? So now epistemology, what it says, it is concerned with the nature and scope of knowledge, where it attempts to answer the basic question, what differentiates the true knowledge from false knowledge. Very important. I say, hello, the God exists, he will punish you if you do something wrong. Now, what differentiates what is true knowledge and what is false knowledge? So this is where the basic dimension of the fight. There is one book, I am forgetting the author, Clash of Civilizations. जब ब्यूरोक्रेट बन जाओगे इस किताब को पढ़ना. Clash of Civilizations. In this book the author says, a day will come when people, the country or the world will fight only for religion. A time will come, because the belief that my belief system is true and the belief that your belief system is false is the core of today's terrorism. Yes sir. So that is how he says in that book that in the clash of civilizations, religion, the belief system, the philosophical thought process will play the most important role. Okay? See, if killing somebody is unethical, killing somebody is, unethical, then why are that, and you say that this is a universal value with me? Killing somebody is unethical and you all agreed that it is a universal value. Then why in some countries, even today, punishments of capital punishment like stoning to death are given? Very recently, 2022 mein Sudan, what is her name? Mariam. She was sentenced to death for adultery by stoning. Lapidation we call it in the linguistic language, it is called lapidation, Lapidation. How can you in 21st century give a punishment that somebody has to be stoned to death? Does it carry value, ethical value, that in 21st century, see, when you award somebody death by stoning, you have killed that person before the act? Yes or no? You know, when somebody is stoned to death, he or she does not die out of the injuries, that person dies out of the trauma. More than that, out of the trauma, because if your mother slaps you, maybe for the heinous of the crimes you have committed, if she slaps you, your self-respect will come into play immediately. No matter I was wrong, but how dare she slap me? Just imagine somebody getting the right to kill you by stoning you to death. How traumatic that incident could be. So that is how you have to understand when the clash of civilizations will happen, the clash will be between what is true knowledge and what is false knowledge. So this is where the philosophy of epistemology comes into play. Try to understand. See, these are all important, not from only examination point of view. I told you by the end of ethics class you will be a क्या बोला? I did not hear it. Ethical person, not necessarily.
Can you give an example of Copernicus who said that Earth is flat?
Yes.
Earth is round. The other person said that Earth is flat.
People were ready to die.
And he was killed because he
Yes.
said Earth is round.
People have been killed in the past because they said something is not true knowledge, something is else and above that. Something is else and above that. Okay? It established skepticism about different knowledge claims. This is called epistemology. Very important word, skepticism about different knowledge, what you call claims. Can anybody give an example here? Example though, be specific when you give the example. It established skepticism about different knowledge claims. Knowledge claims could be about anything within the purview of ethics. Philosophy. Anyone?
Temples built, mosque built on hills.
Controversial. That fellow told, no, don't use controversial examples. So, mosque built over temple, temple built over the mosque, Modi came over Shah, Shah came over Modi, वो सब नहीं discuss करें. ठीक? हाँ. Ram Setu. He is talking about Ram Setu. Excellent example. Please make a note. Now, though scientifically proved, very important, though scientifically proved, now people are saying the true knowledge is it is part of geological formation but not human made. So what the true knowledge they are saying, okay, we agree this existed, but the purpose and the way you claim that it came into place is not that, it may be a result of some geological formation. So that is how the debate versus true knowledge and false knowledge comes into play. See, there could have been reason, just for the sake of debating, I am not denying the Ram Setu's real intent. Try understand, maybe it was metaphorical to showcase that if you want to do something ethically good, you can cross even the waters. Can I use that as an example metaphorically, trying to convey, because 75% of the population idiots like me. So for them to convey that this is a good deed, and for making a good deed the nature will help you to bridge a bridge, and that you can cross even oceans for a good act. So because for a 75% of the population he cannot understand, he has to be given concrete. So that is how it happens. Okay? Next dimension, very important, metaphysics, very important, reality versus existence. See, please make a note, it is a philosophical discipline concerned with exploring the basic principles that govern the nature of reality. Very, very important statement. The nature of reality, that govern the nature of reality. That discipline of philosophy that is concerned with exploring the basic principles that govern the nature of reality. Very, very important. Does God exist? If yes, an idiot like me will say, prove it. That is when Hiranyakashyapa proves, no, that he is standing in the, Prahalad proves or Hiranyakashyapa proves? The Prahalad proves that he is very much existing in the pillar also. So that is when the Narasimha avatar, right? Yes or no? The Narasimha avatar comes, right? So that is basically to prove. Please note down these examples, I am telling you. Where you have taken a historical context to prove a ethical dimension, metaphysical dimension, very important. The last avatara is pending, no? The 10th avatar, what is that? Kalki avatar, right? Kalki avatar is pending. The sooner it comes, the better. We are not able to take the UPSC load here. Huh? The Kalki avatar will come with an intention to destroy the existing, not destroy. Can I say destroy and reinstate? Can I say destroy the evil and reinstate? Yes or no? When I say destroy, not destroying our Ashoknagar, okay? Take it? Don't worry, Ashoknagar will not go anywhere. You come after next Janma also, Ashoknagar will be here only. Okay. Getting it? Now, what happens to soul after death? Anybody? Anybody? What is आज एक आर्टिकल था ना, reincarnation in Tibetan Buddhism. Dalai Lama, not Dalai Lama's reincarnation. Hello, another school, the Sakya school, the 10th what you call reincarnation has happened. A US born Mongolian origin boy, Dalai Lama has said he will be your next reincarnation guru. Go and get him. So now they will go and get him certain methods of testing his whether he is the same person who's got reincarnated or not. After that he will be epistemized as a reincarnation of that particular sect of Tibetan Buddhism. Now, what happens to soul after death? Now here many religious principles say that there is, in 1927, if I remember the year correctly, it was tested scientifically that the weight of the soul is some 21 grams. 1927, the weight of the soul being 21 grams. Now, 21 grams concretely visible होना चाहिए. Generally, for a yes or no, for a person with low IQ, 21 grams में दिखाओ किधर है, कहाँ जा रहा है दिखाओ. What is the direction, speed, angle of ascent or descent? Please show me. This is what we will ask. Yes or no? So, because there is a question that what happens to the soul after death. That is why in Hinduism we also say, no, the penultimate purpose of life is moksha, means come out of the cycle of birth and death, where your soul goes and merges with the penultimate soul. Aham Brahmam bolte hai na? So this is what we are talking about, because our historical texts have spoken about this. But again debatable, because we could not prove it. Simple. Then, is there life after death? If yes, I don't want to do UPSC. Is there life after death? Christianity talks about the Eden's garden. Hello? Any Christian here? No Christian in the class? I am the only half Christian here. Christianity talks about, my foster mother is a Christian, so I consider myself to be half Christian. Okay? Christianity talks about the Eden's garden, heaven, the concept of heaven and hell. In Hinduism also there is a concept of heaven and hell, right? Why these concepts of heaven and hell are there? With an intention to no. To correct the behavior or the conduct of an individual in this society. Because again 75%, जब तक उसको गर्म कढ़ाई नहीं दिखाओगे, ए हॉट वेसल नहीं दिखाओगे और उसमें चिकन की तरह उसको बॉईल नहीं करवाओगे, he will not understand. So you have to tell him the concept of life after death, hell after death, to correct his behavior that is acceptable in the society. ठीक है? And metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that studies the fundamental nature of reality, including the first principles of being or existence, identity and change, space and time, cause and effect, necessity and possibility. If you understand this line in your life is settled. This is the concoction of entire ethics class in the next 40-50 days. What it says? It is the branch of philosophy that studies the fundamental nature of reality. See, for you and me, this could be reality, but this need not be reality. Because we are able to concretely see, touch and feel each other, we are thinking this is reality, but may not be this is reality. We are talking about virtual reality nowadays. We are talking about virtual reality where I am here physically, but I can be felt millions of kilometers across the oceans. We are talking about virtual reality today. Today we are talking about it. Maybe after 200 years it is possible that I am taking a class here, but 200 kilometers away or 2000 kilometers away, simultaneously I am taking a class in Delhi also. Maybe it is possible after 200 years. That is where now the fundamental nature of reality is coming into play. See, many a times we feel, no, you feel suddenly somebody very close to you called you. Did you ever feel that? Did you ever feel that? In sleep, in dreams, you feel somebody whom you miss so much, or thinking about that person before going to sleep, you feel as if you have spent the whole night with that person. Don't be kinky in your thoughts, okay? Think purely, right? So you understand the connect that you are trying to establish with that person, and that connect is basically the connect of. So whatever is visible to us, what we claim to be reality, need not be the fundamental nature of reality. That is what metaphysics is talking about, including the first principles of being or existence. There is a huge difference, no? Being or existence. A father who is irresponsible only exists. There is no point of he being a father. That's what you say. A mother or a sister or a boss in the office, he just exists just to hukum chalao on you, does not understand the pain and agony that you are going through to work for him. So that's what, no, Salman Khan says, being human. He never said existing human. He said being human. So that is how it is important. Identity and change. Can anybody explain this? Identity and change. What is this identity and change? हाँ, anyone? वहाँ तक पहुँचे नहीं सर हम लोग अभी, टाइम लगेगा. Identity and change. Anybody can try? Identity and change. See, today what may be good may be the most worst thing tomorrow. Example? He is there, हाँ? कौन था? अच्छा, Manhattan project, atom bomb ray. That Manhattan project, the discovery of atom bomb, made US the superpower of the world, but at the same time it brought destruction. It brought destruction across the globe, right? So that is how the identity and change dimension can be very crucial. See, you believe me, Buddhism talks about all of these things, and at the core level it talks. B.R. Ambedkar is not a fool to convert to Buddhism. Understand this very importantly. Understand that Buddhism talks about all these dimensions, at the core level it talks. If Buddhism has been taught to you at that level, try to understand this dimension of Buddhism. Okay? Space and time. Anybody? Space and time. Metaphysics, space and time.
Universe is expanding.
Universe
is expanding.
Yes, excellent. The example of the space and time is, the difference in the understanding is basically, earlier we felt that Earth is in the center of the universe. Yes or no? The what was the name of the theory called? Geocentric world order, heliocentric world order. क्या रे तुम लोग क्या पढ़ रहे हो रे? हाँ? What if people are so many senior students are sitting here? The heliocentric, the geocentric, Galileo को क्यों जूते पड़े? Why was Galileo beaten up? Because he said that? No, he said that the sun is in the center, but the world wanted to keep it that the earth is in the center of the universe. So उसको जूते मारे गए because he did not accept what has been accepted as reality. So try to understand this dimension. When I told you, no, Bruno was killed, Giordano Bruno. I took this name, no, first class. Giordano Bruno was killed because he did not want to accept certain basic principles of Catholic Christianity. He was burnt alive. Imagine officially burning a person alive, but he stood to his belief system because for him probably he was at a higher realm of reality. Maybe he was at a higher realm of reality. Okay? Cause and effect, necessity and possibility. Cause and effect, can anybody give an example? Cause and effect? क्या बोला? No, I don't want any scientific explanation. Metaphysics में हो. Cause and effect. Very good. The cause and effect is karma. K-R-M-A. The cause and effect. If you do something wrong, definitely that wrong will come back to you. It may come back. It is said that now karma has also become instant Swiggy delivery. Okay? Earlier it used to take ages for that thing to come back to you. Now it comes back in 50 minutes, 60 minutes also. I have personally felt it. Believe me, I have personally felt it. The moment you do something wrong to somebody, the karma will be behind you. The time gap will keep reducing the moment you keep repeating the wrongdoings. The time gap will keep reducing. That is when you will reach a stage of instant karma. That you will reach a state of instant karma. You have seen, no, many videos on WhatsApp or YouTube. Somebody is trying to kick an animal and going on a motorcycle trying to kick an animal which is walking on the roadside. He could not kick the animal, but he himself falls down. It is called instant karma, the cause and effect. So these are all metaphysical forces that are working that may not be within our purview of understanding. Third and last, which is of our immediate concern, is ethics. The third branch of the philosophy is ethics. The first branch is epistemology, which is basically concerned about knowledge, the nature, the trueness or the falseness of the knowledge. And the second was metaphysics, which was trying to understand the basic principles of life, right? And third is your ethics, which is the objective of life, which we call it as Purushartha. What is this Purushartha? We tell, no, our parents, generally our grandparents, Udyogam Purusha Lakshanam. This is what generally they used to tell, Udyogam Purusha Lakshanam. Anything else? Any example you can give? The man is born to work.
Even Supreme Court also said the same thing.
It will say. We are driven by same ethical thread, so we will talk the same thing. Any other example? Purushartha. Don't. Artha is anything where economic activity. Artha Shastra, right? Purushartha. Purush is responsible to earn the money. But now is it acceptable? The women also say, hello, I can make huge money than you, right? So that is where lot of what you call problems in the familial setups are coming now, right? Try to understand this dimension very well. Understand this. This is where this will come into play. The means to achieve the purpose of this life, what we need to aspire for life. Anybody can you give an example of this? What we need to achieve for life? Simple question. Don't say UPSC, please. Doesn't deserve it. The mention also it doesn't deserve. Even if you get all India first rank 3 years consecutively also it doesn't deserve. Huh. Huh? Huh? ये WhatsApp status वाला मत बोलो. हाँ. What is the need to what you should aspire in life? What is that? Terminal value. She is talking about peace. Now, she made a statement peace. Can you get peace without struggle? Even if you go to Himalayas, you landed in Himalayas, is various ashrams, no? Starts from 5 ashrams, no? Hello? Huh? First ashram is? तुम कहाँ से पढ़ के आ रहे हो रे? You are coming from Pluto. Huh? हाँ, first is? Ashramas of life, रे. You have missed one. Sannyasa is 5th ashram. First is Bal, Bachpan. Second is Brahmacharya. Third is Grihastha. Then comes Vanaprastha. Then comes Himalayas. This Sannyas ashram. Okay. Even if you go to Sannyas ashram, tell me, believe, see, and very beautifully our Vedic texts have told, if you skip anything in between, you cannot get what you are aspiring for. It is because if you have skipped Grihasthashram, you will not understand the value of simple logic. Understand this. If you escape this, it means that you have to go through certain what you call route to attain peace. This what we need to aspire for life, as she said, peace. Anybody, any other quality? Fulfillment. Can you elaborate? How do you feel fulfilled? Stomach full of chicken biryani. Ammaya. Okka family pack nenu okkadne dinna. This is the sense of fulfillment. That's what? Define fulfillment. You are right, but define fulfillment. When?
Your purpose of life is attained.
Example. Saving others' lives. Okay. Okay. Kushwan. Okay. He says moksha. That you are, you are out of this cycle of birth and death. There is, there is one very famous poem or song, or I don't know. I am forgetting the lyrics. Wait. Gone. Deleted. 75 category I told. No? Below that 75 category. There is a song, no? Zindagi se badi saza hi nahi. There is no bigger punishment than life. और क्या जुर्म है पता ही नहीं. What wrong I have done that God has given me life, I don't know. जिंदगी से बड़ी सजा ही नहीं और क्या जुर्म है पता ही नहीं. इतने हिस्सों में बट गया हूँ मैं, मेरे हिस्से में कुछ बचा ही नहीं. That I have been cut into so many pieces. The role as a individual, the role as a son, maybe a role as a friend, maybe a role as a brother or something, that nothing is left for me. When I find that is for me, this is when I will find this. This is when I will find this. This is when your Buddha found it. Because all his life he was kept away from grief. All his life as a youth he was kept away from grief. The day he met one dead person, he attained. Because he understood that is the only truth of life. Death is the only truth of life. Rest all is And it is said in the journey of the soul, your Vedic texts are saying, I am not saying. See, I know all this nonsense because I have studied philosophy and psychology both. That is why psychology has been taught to me in the forces. Philosophy, thanks to my dad, he taught me, right? Yeah, thanks to him, he taught. Because I can teach you now, right? It is said that, हिंदी में एक कहावत है, 4 दिन की चांदनी है, घोर अंधेरी रात है. 4 दिन की चांदनी है, फिर घोर अंधेरी रात है. It means whatever light that you are seeing in this world, in the journey of your soul, it is only 4 days. It means the time and space जो हम बात कर रहे थे, it means the time and space that I am talking, this 100 years of life, in that larger time and space is only 4 days. If your original life is 100 years and this life of 100 years is only 4 days, what is the value of that original 100 years? Mathematics, CSAT, difficult to. So try to understand, see, metaphysics is talking about these nonsense things which I am being forced to teach you at an age which you will not understand. Pawan, do you agree with me? And if I take this class of metaphysics only for 8 hours, all about to die tomorrow, they will all say, "Arey sir, kya class thi? Now I can die peacefully." So please, none of you don't do that. Okay? Chalo, come back to the ethics class. So this is what we are supposed to. In the interview, they will ask why ethics is important. What will you answer? In the interview, they will ask why ethics is important. What will you answer? देखा ना, ब्लैंक हो गए ब्लैंक. हाँ बोलो, why ethics is important? इतना अंग्रेजी मेरे को नहीं आता है. Way of life is very broad. You may be traveling in Mercedes Benz. I am traveling in RTC Crossroad. So do you mean to say that? Then be specific. Huh? So only that one part. See, serving the God, serving the humanity. 2 dimensions. Some people follow the path of serving the God. Some people follow the path of serving the humanity as their journey for moksha. Yes or no? Understand? Mother Teresa may not have been as strong a godly person as strong she was a service person. Yes or no? She took the path of service to God. Path of service to God. Somebody, a priest, might take the path of worship to God, because he may follow strictly that brahmacharya without, indulging in what you call physical pleasures, trying to take the name of the Almighty God throughout his day, throughout his night, throughout his life. So he has dedicated his entire journey of life in the worship of God. Generally you see the head priests of important temples doing this. They do not, generally, if this is my observation, I may be wrong, they generally do not allow the women go closer to him. They generally do not allow, because it is felt that may, because he is also a man at the end of the day, that may arouse his desire for having a woman in his life. So that is the reason why women are not allowed even to go near to those people, because his purushartha is only worshipping the God. He should not be thinking anywhere left and right. So try to understand, when you talk about purushartha, when you talk about ethics, very important, what is the essence of ethics in your life? This you should be aware. And the essence of ethics in every one of you, 30-40 sitting here, could be different. That's the beauty. That you have to understand what is the purpose of ethics in your own life. To be true to yourself, to be true to somebody, to be committed to work or in a relationship, to be helpful, as he says, to achieve something, to be peaceful, to be anything. So you need to understand this for everybody can be different, but it will be accepted as ethics only till such time it does not harm others. I have made a statement. It will be acceptable only till such time it does not harm others. The moment your peace, I get peace by killing people, will that be accepted as ethical? No. Try to understand this. Okay? So you have to find your own answer to this particular question. What is the importance of ethics to you? Okay? Try to understand. Find the answer. Chalo. In this sociology and psychological perspective, now we are going to value. Now I am taking you to value. Sociology to psychology. Ethics as a social system. Society is basically a system which is complex. Do you agree? See, try to understand between these two, which is more complex? Obviously the phone that I am holding in my hand is more complex than this pen. Now between this phone functioning and my body functioning, which is more complex? My body functioning is more complex, right? Try to understand the same way. What he is trying to tell here is society is basically a system which is very complex, because people are there from various ages, from various cultural backgrounds, with various traditional backgrounds, with various geographical backgrounds, with various age backgrounds, different muscle power, different way of thinking, different way of behavior. All these things is very complex. So in a society, if things are not eased out, you will keep killing each other. Yes or no? When you lived in a jungle, it was much more complex. Now does human today as a species, does he struggle to coexist with another human? Maybe some amount of struggle is there, but it is not as difficult as it was maybe 5,000 years or 10,000 years or 20,000 years. With me? Hello, with me? It means the complexity of the society is a dynamic concept. समझ में आ रहा है? You understood? When I made a statement, the complexity of the society is dynamic. For example, till I was a child, I was told that there is only male and female. Now I am told there is a transgender also. I got confused. Now my mind, because my abstract capability is weak, I cannot construct who is a transgender, whether he is a male or a female, because my mind has not been tuned to understand that there is a possibility of third gender also. So, but because the society is becoming more and more complex, new and new things are coming. Today there is an article in Hindu, it is talking about artificial intelligence and legislation. How you can use artificial intelligence in enhancing the scope of legislation. Legislation earlier was बैठ के rule law लिखना. When in 1947 to 1950 your constitution was written, though it was a complex job then, but it was more easier job to do probably than today's governance structure. So try to understand, society is basically a system which is complex. Differentiate between simple and complex system. Now when I say why I am trying to differentiate in the first place between simple and complex system, what is the agenda? Why do I want to differentiate? This is simple system, this is complex system. Basically to bring in understand, try to understand this. The reason why the laws are universal is to bring in harmony. A rich person does not have a different rule and a poor person does not have a different rule. When it comes to criminal law, it is universally applicable. Even if you are a president of India, if you have committed an act of murder or rape, you will be tried as a common man only. You does not get any privileges when you are being accused of certain crimes, especially criminal crimes, right? You might have certain safeguards against civil offences, but when it comes to criminal offences, you will not get any exception, being the president or being the prime minister of this particular country. Okay? Now, how society is complex, try to understand. There is economic system, there is political system. Please make a note, there is a educational system, there is religious system and the system of social control. And out of all this, the most complex is the religious system. This is the most complex. The entire society, see, believe me, if this was removed from the society, the world would have been much better place to live. Believe. Had this dimension removed from society, the world would have been much better place to live. But the problem is, this was brought in to control your same society in the process of evolution. Because the man, because of the muscle power and the recently gained intellect power, started being ruthless killer, headhunters, people getting different heads. I tell, okay, you will pass UPSC if you go for your interview with 20 heads, 10 heads in your hand, left hand, 10 heads in your right hand. What the first thing you will do on the first day of the class, you will take those 10 heads and go home and sleep peacefully. Because this is the criteria to pass UPSC examination. I gave you an example, no? Afghanistan, when the takeover happened, when the Americans left, did any voting happen? When the district collector was to be elected, did he appear in any examination? What was his premise of gaining control? The AK-47 in his hand and the rounds in his pocket. That decided that he will become what? So power determined what you will become. And over a period of time, if you remember, I told about the medieval European history, these were the people who amassed the entire power in the society. So this particular system in the society has been one of the most complex systems in this particular space and time of humanity. This is fairly understood. This is fairly understood. This is fairly understood. But this is where lot of inertia is coming into play. So this is when you have to understand why society is complex. If they ask you a question, please make a note. Question. Discuss how ethics is a social system where we strive to differentiate between simple and complex system. See, I will give an example in society, simple system. The mother and the children relationship is simple. Yes or no? We generally do not complexify that. If you are successful of doing that, then you are in the top 25%. Okay? Generally, it is said that the parents and children, at least in India, it is complex in America. It is very complex in America. But in India, there is a very simple system in society between a parent and a children, between a student and a teacher, between a friend and another friend. Yes or no? But when you talk about complex system, these are the set of complex systems that are existing in our society. See, when you talk about complexity, what is the complex system of political? You know that the world was divided into two, what you call, groups during the Cold War, because they did not agree upon a common political system. One was supporting democracy, the other was supporting communism or socialism, whatever it is. So there was a differentiation of belief in the political system that led to the Cold War for good about 50 years. That's how you try to tell. Then you talk about the educational system. Anybody? Educational system. Do you think your educational system is the best? No. Why? Is it by default or design? It is by design, so that you do not get capabilities or you do not develop the ability to question the authority of people holding power. That is the reason why the education system has been redesigned. It was initially not so, but it has been redesigned to make you submissive from day one. To make you submissive from day one, because the Britishers, Macaulay, if you ask me one bad person in the entire British rule in India, he is Macaulay. Because he completely erased your olden school of thought of education and redesigned it, so that an element of submissiveness to the British rule comes naturally in Indians. and that is continuing even till today. This is what the government, as part of the new National Curriculum Framework, the NCF, is trying to redo the sins that have been committed by Macaulay. So try to understand why your educational system has been designed in a particular way, so that you become submissive to the institutions of command structures. Can you ever go to UPSC and say, what is this nonsense procedure of your selection process? Can you say that? You know, if you say that, though they do not have the authority to reject you, but they will do everything to reject you. Yes or no? Why? Because you questioned the authority of the institution that is holding so much of power. Try to understand this. Okay? See, the SSB in the army, SSB is a Service Selection Bureau. That I told you, 5 days they will make you sit and do something in, your testing will be done, psychological testing and all will be done, SSB. Now, it is said that it is a foolproof system. You cannot fool them. They said that it is a foolproof system. And there is another saying, if you can fool them, that is what they want. It means in the thick of the battlefield, your head will work, you will fool the enemy and get back, or maybe eliminate them. So that is why it is said the system is foolproof. And if you can fool them, this is what we want. This is what exactly it is said. We want two class of people. One, who are fit as per this system, who are trying to go above this system. Both they take. Mediocre वाले को छोड़ देगा. Mediocre वाले को छोड़ देगा. Try to understand this. ठीक है? चलो. We will now talk about the system of social culture. The first statement of your first chapter, essence of ethics in human action. The essence of ethics in human action. See, for now, just understand conduct as plainly as possible, whatever you know. We'll talk about conduct and behavior maybe tomorrow. Okay? We'll talk about it. It says that the human action is referred to as the conduct of an individual in a society. This is called human action. See, action. See, every word in ethics has a meaning. Action means act. The act could be a moral act could be immoral act, the act could be non-moral act. What is a moral act? What is an immoral act? Anybody? Moral act, morality हमने बात की थी ना? Moral act, respecting your elders is morality, respecting your sister is morality. Yeah. Immoral act, without reason beating others. Immoral act, okay, he's got example, without reasons beating others is immoral act. Maybe he deserves that beating, then it becomes immediately moral. Yes or no? No? Any other example, immoral act? Defaming others. Cruelty towards animal. But I am a non-vegetarian. I am a non-vegetarian. Sorry, I don't believe in this.
Cruelty that can be seen.
Beta?
Cruelty that can be seen.
Cruelty that can be seen. I kill the goat and the chicken here.
That becomes cruelty, but
Acha, eating is not cruelty, only killing is cruelty. So let the shopkeeper who is selling it take all the blame, you enjoy the food. Okay, great. So he's got his own morality bracket. Okay, what else? Immoral. Immoral. Lying is immoral. Telling lies is immoral. We all commit, every day we commit. Okay. What else? See, try to understand whatever you are saying, it is all relative. Whatever you classify immoral may be only from one perspective. He said beating unnecessarily without reason. I said maybe he deserves it. She said vegetarianism. I said I am a hardcore non-vegetarianism. I don't believe it. She said telling lie. If telling a lies saves a life, it is much worse than telling a truth. Bol beta.
slapping a baby.
slapping a baby, okay, maybe you are irritated, so it is a reflection of your mood rather than your morality. If at all you are not slapping her every day, provided. हाँ बोलो एग्जाम्पल ऑफ इमोरालिटी क्या रे, तुम जनरेशन में ज़्यादा होना चाहिए तुम. Disrespecting elders. Who asked you to respect? If you don't respect, he will disrespect you. Your father has to pay your fees, no? If you do not talk to him properly, he will say, sorry bro, find a new father. ठीक है? हाँ. You know that? You know that your intention of your friend is right. Intention of what? Any you cannot say. You have to tell that intent, whether then only I can tell you whether it is right or wrong. There is, I told you, no, there is no skepticism here. You have to be, in ethics it is always empirical. फिर वही बात. अच्छा ठीक है बोल. It is not actually selfish interest, it is the IQ that is coming into play more than selfishness.
Sir, when ethics can be empirically proved, why it is subjective?
थोड़ा पढ़ाने दे और आगे आएगा. वैल्यू, सब्जेक्टिविटी, ऑब्जेक्टिविटी बात करेंगे. हाँ, एनी अदर इमोरल एक्ट? Okay. One's anger on some other. No, it is just reflective of your mood. उसमें morality कहाँ से आया? तो वो भी तो दिखाएगा, वो भी दिखाएगी. तुझे क्या लगता है, कमजोर समझ रहा है? कोशिश करके देख, तेरा सर फट जाएगा. नेवर एवर ट्राई. एनी अदर? हाँ साई. ఇమ్మోరల్, ఇంట్లో క్లాస్కి వెళ్తున్నానని చెప్పేసి అంబాలా. కమ్ అగైన్. కిల్లింగ్ సమ్వన్ అండ్ బ్లేమింగ్ ఆన్ అదర్స్. ఓకే गुड. इमोरल. हाँ, कौन सा मूवी देख के आया? हाँ ओके. राणा नायडू. Rana Naidu is also the same story, no? Prince kills. अरे I don't forget things, बाबा, ऐसा मत देखो. But the blames goes on Naga Naidu. Yes or no? ठीक है? But don't give these examples in the UPSC paper. हाँ? हाँ. बोल. बोल immoral.
वाइफ आने के बाद पेरेंट्स को छोड़ देते.
हाँ. The id has taken over. The id has taken. No, he is right. See, in many societies, I told you relative, right? In many societies, the boy is supposed to go and stay at the wife's place. What will happen in that society? In the society where you are born, example, the day you are married, you are supposed to leave your parents' house and go and stay in the wife's house. Why are you finding it difficult to even imagine? You are forcing somebody to do it, no? But you are finding it difficult to imagine also. Because for you, because in a setup that you are born in a patriarchal society, the girl has to come to your place. But suddenly when I told you, you have to go, it seemed unethical to you or immoral to you for that matter. Immoral to you because you felt I have to leave my parents and go. But it is happening in your own country. There are 2-3 places where the boy is supposed to leave the parents and go to the girl's place because the entire property is on the simple Kerala. You getting it? So try to understand. I wish I was born there. I would have happily gone. Chalo. In these actions, ethics become the guiding light in determining what is right and what is wrong. when you talk about human action, I told you an act which can be moral, which can be immoral, and which can also be non-moral. Can anybody give me an example of a non-moral act? I writing on the board is a non-moral act. Yes or no? But if I write faltu things, it will become, see, any act which is of just a physical nature, I drinking water, is a non-moral act. It is neither moral nor immoral. If I am studying, it is a moral act. I am supposed to study as a student or a teacher, I am supposed to study. Okay? But I am drinking water, I am walking. If you see from the perspective of health, it is a moral act. If you do not see it from the perspective of health, it is a non-moral act. You coming to the institute walking, it is a non-moral act. Sleeping is a non-moral act. Eating is a non-moral act. Okay? Try to understand where the elements of morality and immorality does not come into play. If in your society being non-vegetarianism is accepted, you are eating non-vegetarianism, eating non-vegetarian is a non-moral act. It is neither moral, it is neither immoral. But if in your society non-vegetarian is prohibited and if you are eating non-vegetarian that day, then you are immoral. It is generally considered in Islam during the holy month of Ramadan, eating anything during the time of the day is immoral. It is immoral. But if you are without the knowledge of your parents, you are telling your parents I am maintaining roza, but without their knowledge going to the office and eating chicken burger, then you have committed a crime of immorality. Their ethics does not come into play. I hope now you are getting the meaning difference between ethics and morality. Okay? Good. Thus, the essence of ethics in human action implies the observance of good versus bad in these three. Please try to understand. The thought, the conduct and the behavior. So, ethics, the essence of ethics in human action implies the observance of good versus bad in thought, in conduct and in behavior. इसका difference कल बताऊँ, ठीक है? The thought, the conduct and behavior. That's why it is said, no? In Vedic text also it is there. You don't have to commit a crime. Even thinking about a crime is also a sin. Even if you think about another woman, you don't have to what you call indulge in a physical intercourse with that woman. Even a thought of what you call indulging with that another woman or a man, as the case may be, is considered to be immoral, because thought also comes into play. If your family is pure vegetarian and if you as a child, grown up child or a grown up person, if you think of relishing non-vegetarian food, maybe that may consider to be unethical. Like in my own example, I will tell. I was in my college, maybe first year or so. I once very proudly went to my dad and I said, Dad, what if I cut my hair? You know what was the response? What if I cut your head? So try to understand, because in my culture where I was born and brought up, even thinking of cutting of hair is also a crime. Cutting to chhod do. Even thinking of cutting, he said you will not look good without a head. So it means that if I try to do something on those lines, the only place where I felt my dad was stubborn. बाकी चीज़ों में भी था, but this was that stubbornness. Okay, even if you dare not think like that. When I started working, I had some money that I can buy a two-wheeler. Splendor was that time a newly entry. Suzuki Samurai, the no problem bike, and Splendor. These two vehicles were very famous. I told my dad, you don't have to give me money, I'll buy a bike. You don't have to give me money. You know what was his reply? Then don't get that bike to this house, you and your bike can stay somewhere else. So it means he felt at that stage of my life I should not possess a two-wheeler. The day I had to go for my classes at 5 o'clock in the morning, automatically that scooter came to me. Try to understand. So that is when the timing of certain things in Purushartha, having the pleasures of certain things at certain point of time is acceptable. In Brahmacharya, indulging in physical intercourse is prohibited. In Grihasthashram, indulging in physical interpressure with somebody else outside the scope of marriage is punishable offense. So try to understand even the thought, conduct and behavior. Whenever you are what you call observing the action, whenever you are talking about good versus bad, it need not always be an act, even a thought can be evil. Even a thought can be evil. So whenever they talk about the essence of ethics in human action, this should be your reply. The essence of ethics in human action is that quality that governs an individual being right or wrong in thought, in conduct and behavior. Whenever you govern your action, what we call the good versus bad, all the three dimensions have to be taken. Try to understand this line. Ethics and human action. The human action mostly manifests in the nature of choice between two or more courses of action, and the determination of a course of action as right or wrong is not easy. Believe it is not easy. That lady, remember, in the office under the district collector, for her taking bribe for the first time could not have been that easy. So the determination of a course of action as right or wrong is generally not easy. I gave you an example of wildlife photographer who is filming a grown up lion killing a small lion's baby. So how you know what you call that scene would be. Try to understand, but he cannot disturb the nature. Anything that is accepted by nature is generally known to be moral. Try to understand this. I made a statement. Anything that happens in the nature without any outward influence, whatever harsh, how much harsh it may look to you, but it is what you call moral. You cannot classify it as immoral. You cannot classify. Okay? News reporter witnessing a scene of crime. Now the same news reporter who is witnessing a scene of crime, I remember I told you about this recently, couple of months before, a victim of rape. People were photographing her and filming her when her you know, she was found in a very bad condition. Instead of taking her to the hospital and getting her treated, people were busy taking her photographs and videographs because they wanted a news item to become a sensation in their news channel. So that is somewhere where the ethical dimension of that particular action has died. Journalism also has code of ethics, no? The way judiciary has code of ethics, bureaucracy has code of ethics, the army has code of ethics. You cannot show mercy on your enemy, is the code of ethics of the army. Because if you show mercy on him, he will not show mercy on you when the time comes. So you have to be ruthless with the enemy. So that is the code of conduct of the army. Submission to authority is the fundamental value of the army. If your boss senior to you says, Oberoi, tonight 6 o'clock, sorry, early morning 0400 hours, I want you to be on the Tiger Hill. Oberoi goes alive or dead. There is no thought, sir, thandi bahut hai, parson kar le. I am not feeling well, the mood is bad. I had a fight with my girlfriend, I am not in the best of my moods. Can I do it after a couple of days? Immediately you will be court-martialed from the army. Because at the time of the training, at the end of the training, we take an oath that for the safety and honor and welfare of my country, I will go anywhere by land, by air or by sea to a task which I will perform unquestionably. The day you will say no to your senior, that day is the last day in the forces. Okay? Try to understand the importance of obedience to orders as a fundamental value in the forces. Ethics versus? Let me complete this stage, then we will come back to it. Okay. Now try to understand, when I am saying that I cannot apply logic to what my senior is telling, it will be deemed to be unethical and I will be tried for being insubordination. When my senior told me something, without questioning his authority. I can ask doubts. Okay, you said 400 hours, how many people you are giving me? What is the ammunition I am getting? What is the artillery support I am getting? What is the purpose? What is the target? What is the specification of the targets? How many people we are expecting there? Till how much time you want me to hold there? Is any reinforcement coming there? All these questions I have every right to ask. But I cannot question his authority. It is not possible to take Tiger Hills. I cannot say that. When he has told me I have to take Tiger Hills means I have to take Tiger Hills either dead or alive. There is no second thought about it. Try to understand, because it is imbibed in you ever since training period that you can never say no to your senior in the forces. Okay? So that is the ethical value that is ingrained, right? District magistrate, 3 districts hit by floods. Say for example, hypothetical situation, there are 3 districts that are badly hit by floods. You are posted as a district collector in one of the districts, and it so happens that because of the geographical layout, whatever supplies are coming in the natural calamities, generally the supplies come, maybe food packets, maybe water packets, maybe some blankets, all these things come. And incidentally, the geography is such that the other 2 districts for supplying there, they have to cross through your district only. It means it will come to you, you will have to send it across. As a district collector, if you feel, अरे मेरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम है, आई डोंट केयर अबाउट अदर डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स, आई एम द डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट ऑफ दिस डिस्ट्रिक्ट, लेट मी embezzle the entire what you call truck of load or 10 trucks of loads of food packets, I am not going to send to district 2 or district 3. Then you have committed an unethical act. Whatever was meant for your district, you have to keep it, the rest you have to send it across. Your urge for giving to your district is valid, but not at the cost of others. You make a request for increased supply, that is okay, but you cannot deny what has been earmarked for somebody. So if you commit that act, you have committed an unethical act and you will be charged for that. So you cannot do that. You cannot do that. This happens generally in the mountains. It is difficult to imagine in the plains. अरे यहाँ से नहीं तो वहाँ से जा सकता है. But in mountains there is no वहाँ से और यहाँ से. It has to go through one district to the other district. ठीक है? Please make a note. Very important. Action becomes ethical if it is mandated by anybody can give an example. An unethical act became ethical because it is mandated by nature. Capital punishment, classic example, killing somebody is unethical, but because for upholding, but nature कहाँ से आया? Okay, predator and prey relation. The predator and the prey relation in the food chain value, the predator is bound to eat up the prey. Where does human come in the food chain value? ఒక్క నిమిషం, will come. Where does human come in the food chain? वो फोटोग्राफ याद है ट्रायंगल हायरार्की वर? Where is human? On top? So why are you forcefully taking the vegetarians on top? Why she doesn't want to come? Niche. So you want to say that you will lead them? In the food chain, where is human coming? घर जाके दोबारा से खोलना NCERT, उसमें देखना ह्यूमन किधर है. Please try to see that. Understand where you are. That's the biggest problem with humans. We don't know where we are. Predator and prey. Any other example? Nature के खिलाफ. He said marital rape. Again controversial. Sati is mandated by nature. Sati. Who told? Nature. Did nature tell? Custom and tradition is not nature. Hello. बोला रेशियो ऑफ डिफरेंट गैसेस, मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, एन हेलो an act which is unethical on the face of it becomes ethical if it is mandated by nature. You gave an example of predator and prey. A lion eating a deer, on the face of it, it appears to be unethical, right? But it is mandated by the nature. Otherwise वो बोलते ना घोड़ा घास नहीं खाएगा तो दोस्ती करेगा तो फिर खाएगा क्या? घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती नहीं कर सकता. If the horse befriends grass, what it will eat? It has to eat the grass. No?
Natural disasters.
क्या?
So now
I hope the question is missing. How an act which is unethical becomes ethical if it is mandated by nature? Why are you defining the disaster by a nature as unethical? It could be ethical in the first place because you did all wrong things. Why do you want to pass on the blame to the nature? When I say action, when I say this action, this is whose action? Human action, not nature's action. हाँ बोलो. Mandated. Mandated by nature. How? The nature never told you. It is human action, no? See, an act which is unethical, is it mandated by nature to do it? Does nature permit you to deforest? But that is your hunger, your greed. No. Have you ever seen a lion killing a deer just for fun? In nature, there is no concept of pleasure. Understand this. It is always survival. Nature mein, there is no concept of pleasure. Nature, you will never find the concept of pleasure. The concept of pleasure is only in humans. The concept of pleasure is only in humans. Try to understand. See, very important, your Vedic culture, whenever it spoke about, the physical intercourse, it never spoke about the pleasure dimension for physical intercourse. No, it is always for progeny, which the animals follow even today. It is the man that has made it pleasure. That is wrong, because that is unethical. It is not mandated by nature to have pleasure. No, it is always to have progeny. That's why Islam even today talks about, against about the dimensions like abortion or family planning. No, they don't believe it, because the Quran is very clear on that. So try to understand, whenever I am saying something is unethical on the face of it, but it becomes ethical because it is mandated by nature, the only example you can give is the predator and prey. That's all. You cannot give any other example, because nowhere the nature has mandated you to commit an unethical act. It is you who have committed an unethical act. Try to understand. Try to understand this. Okay? Next is, if it is approved by a society as right. Any example? Unethical act, vegetarianism, alcoholism. We talk about here non-vegetarianism. Sorry, the non-vegetarianism, the alcoholism. Anybody else? Any other example? Non-vegetarianism, alcoholism. क्या हो गया? So silent. हाँ. Approved by the society as right, but the act is unethical. At the core of it, unethical. At the core of it, unethical. हाँ. 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 Why? Because, see, try to understand. I said the act is unethical and is approved by society as right. You tell me one religion which says alcohol is divine. ये सब theories, no? A glass of wine every day will fair your skin. This is all nonsense, okay? Two pegs of whiskey will keep the doctor away. The heart will be functioning exceptionally well. ये सब बेवड़ों के जो है नुस्खे है, ठीक है? So never try to understand. Alcoholism को divinity concept दिया गया है. See, believe this, try to understand. Anything which is not good to taste is good to health. I am not talking about alcoholism. Anything which is not good to taste is good for health. Anything that tastes well is not good for health. This is how nature has designed things. Yes or no? Can you eat neem? Will you love to eat karela? But they are good for health. Take a try to understand things which are good to taste. Sugar, anything which is white is prohibited by nature. Your wheat flour, your maida, your atta, your salt, your sugar, this is all prohibited by nature and not available naturally in the nature. It has to go through a process. But what we have done, ethical को unethical को ethical बनाया, approval of the society देकर. Try to understand this. Why the approval of the society came? Because over a period of time it became the culture or tradition of that society. बकरीद में बकरी को काटना ही है, दशहरा में बकरी को काटना ही है, संक्रांति में मुर्गी को काटना ही है. This is how you have made unethical things approved by the society as right. Otherwise it is no. Alcoholism finds nowhere in the divinity concept, in the concept of right and wrong. Does not cause harm to others, neither immediately nor in the long run. An unethical act which does not cause harm to others neither immediately nor in the long run. Anybody? Example? Here you can give an example of destruction of the fetus. You can give an example. See, we are surrounded by pleasures, comforts. We are surrounded by comforts. But are we supposed to seek pleasure and comfort? Tell me one religion that talks about seeking pleasure and comfort. Let me see which is that religion. I want to study that. Rather, I want to convert to that. If at all there is one that believes in seeking pleasure or comfort. When you talk about Purushartha, you also talk about the struggle for life. Yes or no? I told you the birth of human is itself a struggle. I told you जिंदगी से बड़ी सजा ही नहीं. It means you are undergoing a punishment. This is a philosophy class, so let me be philosophical. We are all undergoing punishment, and in that time or scale of punishment, who gave you the authority to seek pleasure and comfort? Trying to understand the essence of the subject. In the phase when this is a punishment to you, how can you seek for pleasure and comfort? What Sadhguru says is, when you lie on the bed in the night, you should fall dead on the bed. That is only when you have fruitfully and completely utilized your body. If you are doing left, right, hello darling, not feeling sleepy, it means that you have not done justice with your body. He says, you fall on the bed, you have to fall dead. Without a fraction of second, you should fall into deep sleep. That is why he said, deep sleep of 3 hours is more than enough. 3 hours of deep sleep. हमको सोने में 3 घंटे लगते. क्यों लगते? Because we have disturbed the See, it is said the best way to stay healthy is align your body with the sun, because we are all sons of sun, SONS, or daughters of sun, right? But what we have done, the sun came at 5:47 in the morning today. I got up at 9:30 in the morning. 3.5 hours, 4 hours gone. The sun slept at maybe 6 p.m. in the evening. I will sleep at 12 in the night. So 9 hours I am spending active in a way, losing the initial morning 3 hours and staying active for 6 hours in the absence of sun in my life. And believe me, there is no better source of energy in this world than the sun. That is why you will see people who work as manual laborers, they are very healthy and strong. No COVID happened to them, no corona happened to them, no typhoid will happen to them, no jaundice will happen to them. Why it will happen to all of us who are baby carried like anything? Because of the factor that we have not aligned ourselves with the nature. So, does not cause harm to others neither immediately nor in the long run is the societal change that is happening today, and we all are victims of that. 2 बजे तक नाच रहे हो, छोटे छोटे कपड़े पहन के, boys and girls both, intoxicating. When I said alcohol, I did not want to stop here. Okay? So I did not want to stop there. Try to understand anything that takes you away from the nature, that act becomes. Understand this. When somebody asks you in the interview what is unethical, unethical is something that is prohibited by the nature. Simple. If something is prohibited by the nature, it will definitely become unethical. Because we are all living in a social system. Ethics is a complex social system. I told you, no? So anything you do which is against the nature, it is what you call unethical. Try to understand. Okay? Oh, value. Nature never said living relationship is bad. Nature did not define. Do you think the dogs are marrying? The institution of marriage is human construct. Hello. I am struggling for the last 14 years to explain this to my mother. That the institution of marriage is a human construct. But believe me, this has saved humanity. Try to understand, if man becomes the enemy of woman, he will easily overpower her because of the sheer muscle power. Over a period of time, the women will perish. Gradually, the man will also perish. So, the institution of marriage was designed to bring harmony between the man and the woman, so that they do not become contrary to each other, competitive to each other, they will become complementary or substitute to each other. But now, because of the changing dynamics of the world, this is not required, because in the evolution of humans, we have crossed the stage where this need not be for co-dwelling or co-living. Try to understand this. This was there when the rule of law did not exist. You lived as a barbaric person. So to control the man, because more of muscle, less of intellect. So over a period of time, the intellect became increased, the muscle strength became lower. So now I do not need this institution of marriage, because there is a choice. Try to understand this. So that is when you talk about live-in relationships. Can you force somebody to live in a relationship? In this, the entire premise is, if you are not comfortable, leave. Why you have to force yourself? When you are not comfortable, stay there. This is when the societal factor will come into play. You are being immoral to your own self, but you are stuck in the. Try to understand. I am not discouraging you from marriage. Hello. don't take this message home, I'll kill all of you. But I am just making an argument. Try to understand that live-in relationship is not unethical. It is not unethical. Why you have to classify, why you have to give the stamp of marriage for co-dwelling? Why is that required? You tell me, why is that required?
Because of society.
Because society is not accepting.
That's what I am saying. What if my society is agreeing? The Western society agrees, no? Now, you want Western clothes, you want Western language, you want everything Western, but you don't want this Western. Kyun? Yes, give up Western clothes, give up Apple watch, give up Apple phone. You want everything which suits your requirement and want to deny that does not. I told you, no, the biggest complex system is the religious system, because none of the religious system support. Is there any religion that says okay, I support live-in relationships? कभी हो सकता है? क्यों? Why? Why the religious systems are not supporting live-in relationships? Why? Why they are forcing? Why is that, you know, Hanuman Dal is looking for you? What is that name of the Dal? Bajrang Dal. Bajrang Dal. Sorry. Why is it Bajrang Dal looking for you? Why they want to get you? बोला मैं तो फंसा, तू कैसा बचेगा साला? That is the construct? No. Why? Try to understand. See, if you define something unethical, I told you, ethical means the societal rules and regulation bounding should be there. Immoral or moral means internal foundations should be there. This is the basic difference we have learnt between ethics and morality. If these two people have decided morally to live together, where is ethics coming into play? I told you, relationship between two individuals, whether it is child or parent, friends, siblings or husband and wife, it should be defined by morality and not by ethicality. Can you tell, can a relationship between husband and wife be ethical? Can it be? It cannot be. You have to be unethical, but you have to be try to understand. So that is when the dimensions completely change. That's when the dimensions completely change. Okay? Chalo. We'll start value. For 10 minutes I'll talk about value, then we'll close. किसका दिमाग गर्म हो रहा है जल्दी बोलो. हाँ, 2 लोगों का दिमाग गर्म हो रहा है. ठीक. अच्छा, 3 लोगों का हो गया. ज़्यादा हो गया आज. तुम लोग यहाँ पे ऐसा बोलोगे तो फिर एप्टीट्यूड एटीट्यूड में क्या होगा रे? How many slides? 14 slides only.
No, sir, 78.
And we covered. No, those 78 are not. Don't worry. I wanted to cover 30 to 31 slides today. Depth ज़्यादा हो रहा है? नहीं बताना?
No, it's good, sir. It's not covering two syllabus, it's covering how well it covers.
See, I told you, ethics के 3 exam, person, life. Try to understand. I have to balance all the 3. And believe me, तुम कोई भी क्वेश्चन पेपर उठाओ 2013 से लेके 2022 तक, 23 पेपर is yet to come. Now that by the time mains will happen, your syllabus will be complete. You will laugh looking at the question paper. ये क्या दिया सर क्वेश्चन पेपर में करके? Provided you have been taught the way it is supposed to be taught. ठीक है? So don't worry, I'll teach you that way. So my target is, if you have that sense of writing with good language without any grammatical mistakes, 135, 140 कहीं भी नहीं जाएगा. But provided you have that sense of writing, not just because you attended all the classes, that may not happen, but your examples have to be good. Correct example at the correct place, thumping numbers मिलेगा. अवॉइड कंट्रोवर्शियल एग्जांपल्स. उसने मैरिटल रेप का एक पॉइंट निकाला था, मैं रुक गया and I did not go back to him. You remember? I did not go back to him because, see, in a society, see, try to understand, why are people getting married? For progeny. Now, because it is a male dominated society, except this planet is male dominated, except for some places, male dominated. Because man has to satisfy his physical urge, he will have to have the authority to satisfy his physical urge. If you deny him that physical urge, in the absence of awareness, in the absence of basic knowledge, in the presence of 75% idiots, if you deny him that right, then the society will collapse. Then the society will definitely collapse. You will see, in a way, the presence of marital rape has ensured that rape is not more prevalent outside the marriage. Understand this. I have made a big statement. In the presence of marital rape, it has ensured that the rape is not prevalent in large quantity or large instances in the outside society. You have to understand this concept. You are going at the core of that is when I talk about value, I will say the family plays an important role in imbibing the value of respecting a woman and her privacy. That is where value will come into play. That is where family will come into play. Where the family will teach you, if you or family is teaching you, it is a symmetrical family. If your family is teaching about patriarchy, the domination of men, it is an asymmetrical family. A large presence of asymmetrical family in the society will showcase in the form of war and disturbance. You go and see any country in the world where there is happening this, the result is, the basic reason is the prevalence of asymmetrical family structure, where patriarchy is overpowering the societal basic framework of things. ठीक है?